Hey, 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 what is up, world? Hey, Ricky V here. How's everyone doing tonight? It is 7:12 Mountain Time, 8:12 Central Time, 9:12 Eastern Time, and we're going to do a quick Facebook Live. So, as you're hopping on, just bring on your teams. So put this in your team chats, put this in your team pages, text out your teams, tag them in the comments below. I will not be keeping this Facebook Live afterwards, so it's going to be whoever's on tonight. So I'll give everyone a couple minutes. I will not be saving this Facebook Live in the page, so just make sure that y'all bring everyone on, okay? What's up, Kathy from Australia? Good to see you. What's up, Melissa? Hey, drop a 1 in the comments if you had a great weekend. I've had an amazing weekend. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of good conversations with people, a lot of good family time. So, hey, as you're hopping on, just so you all know, I'm not going to be keeping this. I'm not going to be keeping this Facebook or this live in the group. I'm going to delete it right afterwards. So, make sure that you are messaging your teams right now. Put it in your team chats. Text people out. Put it in your pages. Whatever you got to do. All right. Hey, what's up, Laura McMullen? What's up, Brett? What's going on, guys? Beautiful Sunday out here in Utah. Tuesday. We're 2 days away from fall. Who's excited for fall? All right. Hey, let's bring everyone on. As you're coming on, drop a 1 in the comments if you're excited. I will not be saving this Facebook Live afterwards. I will be deleting it because sometimes I should say things I shouldn't, and I don't want to get in trouble for it. So, text this out to your teams, put this in your chats, put in your Facebook pages, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. What's up, everybody? Hey, I'm excited to be here with each and every one of you. I'm really excited for, for fall, 2 days away. I love the fall season. I'm excited for everything happening. And basically what I want to do on this Facebook Live today is I want to share with you guys a little bit about what's coming October 24th. Okay, and then more importantly, I want to share with you guys how to prepare for it and how to really build a business here long term so you all can have a happy, successful business over the next 24 months. It's never about the actual event. It's about what happens prior to the event and what happens after the event, okay? Also, we are going to be starting a focus group. At first, we're going to do a focus group of like 20 people. I think we're going to do about 100 now. And then I am doing a specific private focus group for 30 people in addition to that. That one's already filled up, so we're going to do a kind of more laid back one. So those that have reached out to be a part of that, I got you noted and all that. So anyways, I'm really, really excited to be here. So let's get started. What's up, Robin Rowden? What's up, everybody? What's up, Carmen? What's up, Angela? Hey, good to see y'all on. Okay, check this out, guys. So as you guys are hopping on, just know that I'm not going to be keeping this Facebook Live. Okay, I'm going to delete it afterwards. But I want to share with you guys a little bit about what's coming on the 24th. I think it's really, really exciting, October 24th. And you know what, guys? It's like right around the corner. You know, we were talking about October 24th when September began, but now it's, is it September? It's September, right? It's September 20th, right? We're talking about fall happening in 2 days from now, which I'm really excited about the fall. How many of you guys like the fall? I love the fall season, so I'm excited about that. You guys are going to love coming to Utah October 24th. Everything is going to be such beautiful colors. It will be in Salt Lake, but we'll have to take a trip down to Utah County because that's where the big mountains are at, so you guys will love it. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to basically go through this, guys. I'm going to go through a few things of what's coming on the 24th, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into, how to really build some of the fundamentals that it takes to build a successful network marketing business. If you want to have a successful network marketing business, drop a 2 in the comments and understand that everything that I teach you is the basic fundamentals that you guys need to really incorporate. Whether you do, whether you're not, that's up to you. It's all good with me. But I will tell you that to build a business, it's not something that happens overnight. It does take time. Okay, it does take time. Thank God we have a business model that allows people to get paid. It's crazy, man. Like, it's so crazy. When I'm looking at the 100% Epic customer group, guys, happy birthday, Mindy, tomorrow. Happy belated or happy early birthday. But as I was looking at the 100% Epic group, man, it's so crazy watching all the amazing testimonials that are happening. And then what's even crazier is as I'm scrolling through the Facebook feeds and I'm just watching stories of how people are winning financially. Like if you have had a financial win with bEpic already, drop a 3 in the comments below, because I'm just watching these stories of what people are doing, like, you know, from putting their first down payment on a house or on a car, or putting money away in their savings account for the first time in their lives, or paying off debt. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of lives that we are impacting, right? So let's go ahead and kick it off, okay? So first of all, guys, as we kick off the 24th event, this is really, really important, okay? Sometimes, I will tell you this, okay? I think this is magical, I really do, but sometimes a lot gets lost through social media, right? Like if I post on social media, hey, go get your tickets to the event on the 24th, well, what ends up happening is that not everyone sees that post, right? So behind the scenes, what I do is I like to make sure that I have a list of all the people that I've personally sponsored, and I like to text them, hey, go get your ticket. Hey, make sure you're getting your ticket, right? Like, don't just depend on, hey, you made a post, or you put something in your stories, or you put something in your Facebook page, or maybe you have a WhatsApp chat, or maybe whatever kind of chats people have, a messenger chat. Don't just rely on that, because sometimes a lot can get lost in that, right? Or sometimes people don't see it, or Facebook blocks the out, whatever that stuff is, right? So make sure that you're texting people out, because the October 24th event, guys, is going to be really, really massive. And you're talking about having the opportunity right now where the whole world is paying attention because of everything going on in the world. People are at home more. People are on Facebook more. People are on their phones more. And I think that this like whoever says, hey, you know what? If I have 100 team members, I'm going to shoot to make sure that those 100 people are at the virtual event, right? So if you've picked up your ticket already, let me know in the comments that you picked up your ticket. But if you haven't, pick up your ticket. To pick up your ticket for the virtual event October 24th, log into your back office right when you log in. At the very, very top, it's going to say virtual ticket for Salt Lake City. Purchase it. It's only $20. It's not only $20. You get it for $20, but it also comes with 20 CV. So you get volume for that. bEpic is the only company that pays you for to come to the event. Like, how crazy is that, right? That's insane. So make sure that you're messaging your team members, right? Write that down. Make sure that every single time a major announcement comes out, you're not just posting it, right? Post it, of course. Do all that stuff that you got to do, but make sure you're at least blasting out your people that you personally sponsored through a text or whatnot. So make sure that you got your ticket, okay? October 24th, you all, is going to be a game changer for everybody, and I'll tell you why. I'm actually, I was at my wife was at the store, and she purchases these turmeric shots, right? And these turmeric shots, guys, are $3 a shot, right? Not that expensive, right? I'll buy one a day. But if you purchase a turmeric shot at $3 a piece, what is that? That's like $90, right? That's like $90 plus tax. You're spending over $100, right? And that's just for a turmeric shot. So one of the products that you guys have seen now on social media is that we're coming out with a product called Regenerate, okay? And Regenerate, guys, is a product that that's got turmeric, curcumin. It's got hyaluronic acid, right? It's got collagen. It's chai tea flavor, right? So for those of you that want to take a product that you want massive hair growth to happen, hair, skin, and nails. For those of you that want to take a product that helps with anti-aging, get rid of wrinkles. For those of you that want to take a product that helps with achy joints, right? With like all the joints in your body, et cetera, right? You're talking about that product Regenerate that does it all. It's patent, and it's not only is it patent, but it's proven to be 12 times more powerful than taking like an Advil. So for those of you that have, pain throughout your body, you're talking about like the biggest anti-inflammatory, the biggest anti-aging product of the freaking decade. Like, that to me is really, really exciting. And the most exciting part about that is that it's going to be less than $3 a shot. I'm thinking, don't quote me on this, but I'm thinking that a 30-day supply for something like that's going to be like 60 to 70 bucks. Right? Like, how crazy is that? By the way, I'm deleting this Facebook Live, so you guys have no proof that I said anything, but I'm just telling you guys how exciting is that we get that kind of product, right? In addition to that, guys, we're also going to launch an additional product, and that product is going to be called Alleviate, Okay. Now, Alleviate, guys, is a product that's it's also gonna be a universal product. Like when you take that Regenerate product, the chai tea product, you're talking about people that are gonna want to consume that 2-3 times a day. You're talking about that people are gonna like take their Elevate in the morning, they're gonna take their Accelerate at night, and then during the day they're gonna be chugging on that chai tea. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be buying like 4 or 5 packs a month because I want to chug 2 or 3 a day. My wife's going to want to chug 2 or 3 a day, right? Like it's the ultimate anti-inflammatory, anti-aging product of the freaking decade. Everyone's going to want it. And it's so cool that it's going to come in sample form. So you can actually sample it out if you want to, right? You can sell a 3-day trial. You can send a 5-day trial, right? Now, that product isn't like an Elevate where like, boom, you take it and it's boom, fast impact, right? We want to make sure that we're telling the right story. But I think if someone's taking that consistently, 2, 3, 4 weeks or seeing major results, it's going to be exciting. So people can purchase that individually, or they can add that to their Elevate and Accelerate experience. Personally, myself, I'm going to be like that product junkie that I'm going to be taking Elevate in the morning, Accelerate at night. I'm going to be chugging Hydrate during the day along with my chai tea, right? I'm curious to see how it tastes with almond milk or water or whatever. I'm sure it's safe for that many a day. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's better. I mean, people drink an entire freaking, 2-liter soda a day. So I'm assuming that if it's something healthy, it wouldn't be bad taking it 2 or 3 times a day. But anyways, that's going to be really, really exciting. I think everyone should also go on a sample blitz with Elevate and Accelerate. I know that we don't have the sample packs anymore, but that does not stop you from cutting out three pills. Three of each pills, right? Elevate, both white and purple capsule. You can go to Amazon and type in like packaging, and you can buy some really cool packaging, ship it out to people, sell it for $15 a piece, $20 a piece, whatever it is that you want. But right now it's time for it to go like extremely like viral, right? Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on a sample campaign myself right now. So it's gonna be really, really fun. Okay, so the other thing that's coming is gonna be that product Alleviate. Okay, now Alleviate. This is something that I think is going to be insane, okay? Yeah, samples are going to be flying off the shelf. Thanks, Angela. Angela says I'm looking slim. Thank you. I appreciate it. So check this out, guys. So Alleviate, freak, I'm going to get in trouble. Alleviate is going to be like a, I can't tell you guys. I think Alleviate is going to be exciting, though. I think Alleviate, if you combine Alleviate with Regenerate, it's going to be an incredible freaking product. Alleviate is going to be like a holistic approach. You don't consume it in your mouth. You put it on your body. And it's not really what you think. It's like 10 times different. It's going to be like insane. October 24th, guys, 2 new product launches, right? October 24th, a brand new website. October 24th, a brand new back office, right? October 24th, 5 more ranks are going to be added to the rewards plan, okay? October 24th, I just feel like is going to set us up to earn, to do $300 million in sales in 2021, okay? $300 million in sales in 2021. With just those 2 products alone. It's going to be extremely, Christy, it's not tea. It's chai tea flavor, but it's not like a tea. So you'll still like it. I promise you, you'll love it. Everyone's going to love it. Like the chai tea. I mean, when Demetrius and I, were with the owner, with Dan, and he gave us a sample of it, and him and I are like driving home, and we sipped on it, and we're like, holy smokes, this is amazing. So we really, really, love it. So October 24th is going to be crazy. Okay. So, it's not just about hyping up, right? Like anyone can hype anything up, right? If anything, I hype a lot of things up, right? But like my hype comes with a lot of tangibility behind it, a lot of like foundation behind it, and that's kind of what I want to share with you guys tonight. Okay, I don't know when bEpic Slim is coming out. I don't know about anything about that launch or anything like that, but I will tell you that we're gonna have a lot of exciting things happening this year, right? Like, okay, so let me just share with you guys a couple of things, like. When you talk about building a business and you talk about like you do your job as a distributor, but the company also has to do their job. And what the company is doing for you as their job is they're creating stuff to allow you that as you're working, you're not just going like this, but you're going like this and you're going like this and you're going up, right? So what that means is that when you got something like October 24th, that's insane, guys. Like October 24th is going to be insane. Sales are going to be crazy. When you talk about like LTOs that the company is doing, sales go crazy. When you talk about like Black Friday, this year, November, Black Friday is going to be insane because I know Dan is already preparing insane stuff for Black Friday. And then you talk about Christmas, guys, like there's going to be more stuff coming in Christmas. So you talk about like the stuff that's coming is already in place for you to win. Like it's already in place for you to just have this crazy amount of growth if you're putting in the work. If you're putting in the work every single day, your efforts can be compounded like at a higher level, right? Some people have to work because a lot of companies don't get into momentum. They don't come out with exciting things. I think bEpic is in such great momentum. They're coming out with exciting things, and as everyone's working, your efforts are just multiplied. So if you want to have the best Christmas of your life, I'm going to give you some things, okay? I'm going to give you some things that tonight that I think are crucial for you to build a business, okay? And so make sure, guys, we have 400 people on this Zoom right now or on this Facebook Live. All I'm going to tell you guys is go pick up your virtual ticket tonight. Before they take it off the website. I don't know if they're going to take it off the website, but just go get it as fast as possible. And more importantly, you all, like let's set the proper foundation where we can all win, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to talk about a few things, okay? Demetrius and I had the opportunity to, 2 weeks ago, we went out to Dallas, and we had the opportunity to sit down with Larry Thompson and Taylor Thompson, right? For those of y'all that don't know Larry Thompson's a guy that took Herbalife to $1 billion company like back in the 80s, right? Like Larry Thompson is one of the people that actually helped put the network marketing industry together. Like he worked with Jim Rohn, right? He worked with all the top dudes in the game. He's mentored all the top dudes in the game. Any top earner that you see in a company like Larry Thompson is a big reason for that, right? Now, I remember Larry Thompson talking to me 3 years ago. 3 years ago is when I started getting mentored by Larry Thompson, and not like 24/7, but it was like we'd have 1 or 2 conversations every single month. And when I started talking to Larry Thompson back like 3 years ago, I remember him sharing a lot of things, and I remember it making so much sense in my mind that like when I started looking at different network marketing companies, none of them made any sense, right? None of them made sense for me. And what happened was that's why I walked away from the industry, because I knew too much. And because I knew too much, most of these companies didn't make sense, because what most companies were selling were, $500 kits, $1,000 kits. They were only paying 10% retail. So if you got a customer that was purchasing an overpriced product at $150, you were getting paid $15, right? Like, guys, we can sell Hydrate for $30 and get paid $15, right? Like the 50% retail is insane. So Larry Thompson mentored me a lot. He taught me to understand the right things to focus on. He taught me the right things to look at, do, and everything, right? And so when bEpic came into my life, it was just like, boom, like we were off to the races, because in my brain, I understood exactly what I wanted, what I was looking for. So Larry Thompson is known for 2 things. He's known for a thing called the Millionaire Tapes, and he's known for a thing called the 6 Pillars. Now, I've never had access to the 6 Pillars until just recently, like a few weeks ago. I have had access to the Millionaire Tapes. But Larry Thompson, by the way, who would want Larry Thompson to do a Facebook Live for us in our group? I know I can get him to do that. But Larry Thompson, guys, is writing a book called the Millionaire Booklet, right? Something like that, the Millionaire Booklet, right? He's been thinking about writing this book about the Millionaire Tapes for many, many decades. It just hasn't come to the point yet, but it's actually being written. It's already written. It's actually being approved by Amazon right now, and then it will be it'll go live next month, sometime in October as well. Okay, now. The cool thing is that Larry Thompson actually gave me a copy. Check this out. Okay, this is the first original copy that he wrote. So there's like a lot of like little like check marks in there, because there's a lot of stuff that he had to add and stuff like that, right? So this is more of like his pre-written version. But nonetheless, guys, it's the Millionaire Booklet. Okay. Now, I heard this information for the first time, 3 years ago. Started really studying it, and a lot of these things make sense. And I'm gonna go through a few of them with you guys. So bear with me if it's boring or if I kind of lose my train of thought. It's because because I'm trying to go through the right things for you guys. Okay, if you have a pen and paper, I would write this stuff down. And by the way, like I'll start off with this. I'll preface with this, right? Like if you have Elevate and Accelerate in front of you right now, when does the product actually change your life? Does it change your life when you purchase it? Does it change your life when you look at it? Does it change your life when it arrives to your house in a package? When does Elevate and Accelerate actually change your life? And I'll tell you right now, it changes your life when you metabolize it. Okay, so a lot of people hear information and they never apply it. And that's why the personal development industry is so massive. That's why there's so many coaches trying to shove coaching programs down your throat, because everyone seems to think that there's still something missing in their minds to achieve success. And I can tell you all right now, every single one of you that's on this Facebook Live, you already have everything that you need to go out there and make any kind of money that you want to make. I promise you, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't, like, you may think you need to purchase another book. No, I can bet you right now you can throw away all the books, and if you just got to work, you would already know what you need to go do to go make things happen, right? So when I share this information, it's not just enough to listen to it. It's not just enough to write it down. When does the information change your situation? The information changes situations when it's applied, when you put it into motion, when you're acting upon that information every single day. Most people don't get to that point. Most people don't get to the metabolizing the information. Now, I've been seeking information all my life. Well, not all my life, but the last 11 years, I've been seeking information. The difference maker with me was that if I met with a millionaire or I met with a billionaire, if they said something, I was going to go do it, because I never questioned it. I said, you know what? It's got to be true to some degree. So no matter what, it should help me somehow, because if it got you to where you're at, I want to go do it. And I always applied it. So I want to start off with this, okay? The first thing that he talks about, not the first thing, actually, I'm skipping a lot of pages, so I'm not going to give it to you all. But the first one is a gold mine attitude. Okay, that's the very first thing before anything comes into play. You need to have a gold mine attitude. Okay, if you have a negative attitude and you go prospecting, nothing's going to happen. If you have a negative mentality and you go out there and try to do a training for your team, if you have a negative mindset and you go try to go get yourself a new customer, guess what? Not a lot is going to happen. The very first and foremost thing that you got to check every single day is your gold mine attitude. Remember what I said last week? I said you can't pour into someone else's cup if your cup is empty. So every single day, doesn't matter what you do, you got to make sure that you're in a gold mine attitude. And this is why. In the book, he says the reason why we need a gold mine attitude is because people communicate with feelings, not with words. Remember what I've been telling you guys for weeks and weeks, actually months now, is that for me, I never cared about what I was going to tell somebody. I didn't care, like, for me, when I go invite someone to take a look at the 100% Epic page, or if I go invite someone to take a look at, a video, or to take a look at the bEpic business, to me, it's never important what I say, right? Now, of course, there's some truth to, like, saying the right things, right? You don't want to be like, hey, listen here, douchebag, I got an opportunity for you, right? You don't want to say that, right? But the point is that if I have a positive attitude, if I'm excited and I'm reaching out to somebody, I'm saying, hey, man, I'm excited, right? I may not say much. I may say, hey, look, man, I'm excited. I don't have all the information here to tell you through Facebook Messenger, but I'd like to send you some information that I think you'll be excited about too. Now, I've never said that to anybody, right? It could be something else, right? It could be like, hey, listen, man, I'm really excited about what we're doing. There's a lot of people winning. If I send you a video, would you watch it? Hey, listen, I don't know if it's the right time for you right now, but if you're working on a project, it may not be for you. But if you're open at all to earning some extra income, could I send you some information, right? Like, it doesn't really matter what I say. The point is that I have a gold mine attitude, because if I'm negative, if I'm pissed off at, a spouse, if I'm pissed off at, customer support or something, and I go try to prospect, guys, your efforts will not match, because people are not really hearing you with what you say. They're hearing you with how you're saying it. So have a gold mine attitude. And to prove that, there are two things he says, okay? Imagine right now, you have to go to a birthday party. Okay, you're going to a birthday party, you pull up to the house, and then there's a sign at the front of the house that says, hey, go through the gate on the side of the house, right? So you're walking towards the gate, and all of a sudden, you see a sign on the gate, and the gate says, beware of vicious dog. Beware of vicious dog. Boom. You start to like shake, or you start to get scared. You're like, oh crap, there's a dog back there. There's a big dog back there. All of a sudden you hear it bark. Now you're scared and you're staring at that fence like, dude, I don't even want to go to that party. But then something interesting happens. You see a little 6-year-old girl that's walking up the driveway. She opens up the gate. That vicious dog just licks her hand. She shuts the gate and she keeps walking. Okay? Why is it that the dog was barking at you and wasn't barking or trying to go after the little girl? And the reason is because of the energy. You were emitting like a nervous energy, a scared energy. You were emitting fear, and the dog could smell it on you, right? And the dog starts barking at you. The little girl had no fear. She sees puppies or dogs as puppies, and she loves dogs, and so she just walks straight in through the fence, right? That's what happens with a lot of us a lot of times, right? Like we have this like negative mentality, or this scared mentality, or this fearful mentality. But if you just like kind of collect yourself for a moment and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to create a gold mine attitude, and I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be courageous. And it's not about not having fear, because most of us will have fear, but it's like about being more courageous than you are fearful, right? And you emit a confidence. Like one of the things that I've been doing for a long time, this is what I told my wife what I really, really want for like Christmas, because I do this mentally, but I don't have it literally. I want to have like a portrait of Brian Tracy, a portrait of Bob Proctor, and a portrait of Earl Nightingale in my office, because those are the three guys that I look up to a lot. And I'll tell you what, my prospecting is completely different if I'm just like by myself in the zone, right? But then if I'm in the zone and I act as if Brian Tracy, Bob Proctor, and Earl Nightingale are sitting right next to me, my prospecting is completely different. Like, how many of you guys would agree right now that if you were prospecting right now and all of a sudden, Brian Tracy, Bob Proctor, and Earl Nightingale showed up and sat next to you and they said, hey, we want to hear you prospect, right? You would have to all of a sudden change who you are. You would be like, oh man, I can't act like this. I got to be a little bit more powerful. I got to be a little bit more confident. I'm going to show these guys that I'm actually not scared, that I am courageous, right? So that's really, really powerful. The other reason why a gold mine attitude, guys, is really, really important, I'll tell you why, is because in this, he says, he makes this example of like, okay, so I'm not an expert on the Bible, forgive me, okay, but he makes this analogy where like Jesus tells his 12 disciples, right? Like Jesus is training his 12 disciples before they go off to like prospect, right? So Jesus is teaching his 12 disciples. And before the 12 disciples go out and start preaching, okay, Jesus says one thing to them. At least I think he said this, okay? I'm not an expert. But he said this. He says, gentlemen, not every house you knock on is going to be of your own accord. So make sure that when you leave the house, that you shake every grain of sand from your shoe. Okay? Again, Jesus is teaching the 12 disciples, and he finally says, gentlemen, before you go out to the world and start prospecting or start preaching, just remember that every house you knock on is not going to be of your accord. And so make sure, gentlemen, that when you leave each house, that you shake every grain of sand from your shoe. Okay? So what does that mean? Now, that can be translated in many different things. Right? A lot of people can have different translations for it. Here's one translation for it, because I'm talking to you guys. Make sure that you know every single person you prospect is not going to say yes to the business. As a matter of fact, probably 80% of the people that you talk to are going to tell you no. But just make sure that after every conversation you have, or every time you invite someone, make sure that you shake any negativity out immediately. Why? Why should you shake every grain of sand from your shoe? And here's why. Here's one translation. Here's why. Because if you leave a little grain of sand in your shoe, nothing might happen. But you keep prospecting, you keep knocking doors, and maybe a little bit down the road, another grain of sand gets in your shoe, and then another grain of sand gets, and you don't shake it off. You just keep it there. And eventually it creates like a blister. But you don't need that. Or you don't do anything about it. You don't shake it off. You keep going. You keep going. Pretty soon that blister turns into infection. And you don't shake it off still. You don't get it taken care of. You don't take care of the crap on your foot. You just keep going and keep walking. And eventually you go to the doctors, they have to amputate your foot. Okay? A lot of times that happens in network marketing as well. If you don't shake every negativity from every situation that you're in and you let it still go inside you, the first one might not affect you, but as every single day, as you're allowing negativity, eventually your dreams will die, because eventually you will amputate the dreams out of your life and you'll go back thinking it just wasn't for me. Or you'll create every excuse in the book. You'll give up. You'll quit, right? Like, that's why you have to shake every grain of sand from your shoe. Does that make sense? Am I making sense a little bit here tonight? This is the first time I'm doing a training on this stuff, but this is really, really powerful. There's a book that I always talk about, Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. When Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone were having an argument about the book that they were going to co-author together, and they came to an argument as to what was the first secret of success. What was the first step in acquiring wealth? And eventually, guess what happened? They decided that the first step in acquiring wealth was a positive mental attitude, right? So we hear about that all the time. And it's not just about having a positive mental. The reason why you want to have a positive mental attitude is because you don't want to continue to allow the negativity in your life or the negative circumstances in your life. You want to try to shake it off, right? Like that one song. Anyway, so he says, you've got to be able to control your attitude just a little bit more today than you did yesterday. You've got to be a little bit more excited today than you were yesterday. You got to learn to be a little bit more sincere today than you were yesterday. You got to be a little bit more effective today than you were yesterday. You don't go from here to here. You don't go from here to here. You go from here to here a little bit at a time. Okay? So anyways, I thought that was powerful. That was one of the first things that I learned that I thought was really, really cool. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about, and you guys should write this down also. And by the way, I'm not saving this Facebook Live afterwards. I'm deleting it, so there's no proof of the stuff I said earlier. So I hope you're writing this stuff down. And when the book comes out, we'll do a huge promo around it, and whoever gets the promo will, get the book or whatever. But the next one that I really fell in love with was, and I learned this concept a couple years ago, but it's called The Death of a Salesman. Okay? Write that down or put in the comments. The Death of a Salesman. Okay? The death of a salesman, guys, I think is a really, really powerful concept because a lot of people don't understand why their business slows down. Or a lot of people don't understand why they were having fast success while they were building a business and had a job, and eventually they quit their job and then they go full time, and why it slows down. Okay? And I know why, because I've lived it. I've experienced it. I can tell you exactly why. But I'll go based off of this book. So I'll give you an example, okay? Let's say, for example, okay, so he makes the he makes the analogy of like a guy that is like works at a mechanic shop. Okay, so picture a guy named Bob. Bob works at a mechanic shop. Okay, now Bob that works at the mechanic shop is not the owner of the mechanic shop. Bob just happens to be the best mechanic that works there. He happens to be the best employee that works there. Okay, so all of a sudden, you go one day to get your car fixed. Bob, fixes your car again, and you go pay, and before you walk out, you say, Bob, you know what, man? Everyone here just loves you. You're the best mechanic. You know that if you started your shop, I would be there, and I know most of these people would be your customers as well. You should look at going into business for yourself. So Bob, all of a sudden, goes home that night. He's thinking about it, and he's like, you know what? He's right. I should be the owner of my company. You know what? Because the company I work for, they're only the company because I'm the best mechanic and because I get the best service. You know what? I'm going to start my own business. So Bob opens up his own mechanic shop. Okay? Bob opens up his mechanic shop, And guess what happens? No more than 2 months goes by, and Bob has to close down the mechanic shop, and he has to go back to work. He goes back and gets his old job back. Why did Bob fail? It's because Bob didn't possess the habits that the successful people do. So what happened to Bob was he opened up his own shop. He was excited. He starts getting these customers. But then guess what happened? During the second week of his shop opening up, Bob one day wakes up and says, hey, you know what? I was up late last night. I own the company. I'm just going to wake up late. I'll get to the shop late. It's fine. A couple days goes by. Bob says, hey, you know what? I'm going to take a longer lunch because I'm the boss of my own house or of my own business anyway. So I can take as long as lunch as I want, right? Maybe a few days goes by and Bob says, hey, you know what? I'm going to just miss today because I'm the owner of my business, of my mechanic shop. So I can take a day off if I want to. And little by little, he starts to fall into the negative habits of taking days off, doing negative habits of not doing things on time, right? The customers start to complain, but he's not hearing it, and he doesn't care because he's the owner of his own company. And eventually, the customers go back to where he used to work at, and then eventually the business shuts down, and Bob has to shut it down too and go get a job. Okay, a lot of people do this in network marketing, including me. The very first time I went full-time, guys, I was not working my business like I was prior to that. Okay, and I think a lot of us can really relate to this information because this stuff is real. You know what I mean? And so he goes on to, let me see if I can find it. So let's see. So he says, you have to develop the right habits of showing up every single day, right? That's the bottom line. And he says, you can lie to whoever you want, right? You can lie to your spouse, you can lie to your friends, you can lie to anybody you want, but you can't lie to yourself, right? So like, you can tell everyone that you're doing the work, but deep down inside yourself, you know that you may not be doing the work. I knew when I was struggling in my business, I never said it publicly, but I always said it to myself, like, gosh, I know what I need to do. I got to do the work, but I just wasn't doing it, right? So he gives something that I think is really cool, okay? There's a couple things here, okay? So I'm gonna go into like different things here. But Larry Thompson developed a plan that would take anyone to earn $5,000 a month in income. Okay? If you just did these things. Okay? Who wants that plan? Who wants the plan on how to make $5,000 a month guaranteed? Now, I can't say guarantee, but this is what Larry Thompson says. He says every single person that he's had do this plan was not earning any less than $5,000 a month by their fourth month. It took them 3 months of doing this plan, and boom, $5,000 a month. Who wants that plan, right? So what I love about this plan is that it's up to you. It's not up to anybody else. Whether you win or lose, everything is your fault. You succeed, your fault. You lose, your fault, right? You got to learn to take self-responsibility, right? So I like this plan a lot. He says this, I'll tell you how to make $5,000 a month in this business. I'll tell you how to do it, and it'll take you 90 days, and it only requires 2 things. So in your notes, what you want to write down right now is $5,000 a month plan. I'm going to share it to you right now, okay? The very first thing, there's 2 steps. Step 1 is this. Sell the product at every opportune moment. That's it, right? You don't have to schedule 2 hours out of your day to do it. You don't say, hey, I'm only going to get a customer during these 2 hours of the day, right? Yeah, you can have those 2 hours a day, but sell the product at every opportune moment. Maybe you're wearing a shirt that says energy, detox, sleep. Ask me how. And you're at the grocery store and someone says, hey, I like that shirt. What is that about? And boom, you can get yourself a new customer then, right? You won't say, oh no, you know what? I only get customers during 12 or 2 p.m. So don't talk to me right now, right? Like sell the product at every opportune moment. That's it. Sell the product at every opportune moment. Okay, we can all do that, right? We can post stories on Facebook. We can make a post on our Facebook wall. We can go to the grocery store and have a shirt on. We can that says, ask me how or whatever. There's so many ways to get customers, right? You can post in Facebook groups. You can post in your Facebook marketplace. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to get customers, okay? So, number 1 is sell the product at every opportune moment. Number 2, and this is probably one of the most important ones. Number 2 is this. Sponsor 10 people a month for 3 months. You, me, personally recruit 10 brand partners every single month for 3 months. Let me say that again. Not your team growing. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. Okay? Personally sponsor 10 new people every month for 3 months. Now, he's very clear here. He said this, I've told this to some of you before, and I'll tell you again. There is not one person that I've ever given this information to that's done it that is making less than $5,000 a month today. I think that's powerful, right? And he says this, period. That's what I told my sister to do, and that's exactly what she's done. That's all she's doing is those 2 things, selling the product at every opportune moment and sponsor 10 people a month. But this is where I think it's key. That doesn't mean that you're going to sponsor 11 people your first month and then 10 people or 9 people your second month. And then, like it's got to be at least 10 people this month, 10 people next month, 10 people the month after that. It can't be 8 people this month, so now you're going to make it up next month by sponsoring 12. No, it's got to be 10, 10, 10. Okay? Now, you guys have heard me talk about this many, many times, right? Like when my mentor said, hey, you want to go full-time in network marketing, go sponsor 30 people. Why did he say sponsor 30 people? He said because if you sponsor 30 people, half are going to quit. Has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with the business. Has nothing to do with the product. Nothing. All it has to do with is people, right? Like 30 people going to college, half don't finish, right? 30 people going to a marriage, half don't finish, right? So 30 people, sponsor 30 people, half quit. Out of the 15 that you have left, you maybe have 10, 12 that maybe do a little bit. Maybe get 1 customer, right? Maybe get 2 customers. But out of the 30, you might have 1 or 2 that build a team of hundreds, and that gets you to $5,000 a month or more, right? This is the same plan. 10 people a month for 3 months, okay? And so, anyways, so he says this, the way to do that is that you have to develop the habits that are going to take you there. And we all know the habits, right? If you want to personally sponsor 10 people a month, you know that every single day you have to be prospecting, right? We know that. Every single day you've got to be prospecting, right? But here's what happens to most people. And Brian Tracy calls this eat the frog, right? Eat that frog. And basically what it is that most people procrastinate things to the end. And because they procrastinate it till the end, they never get it done. And so Larry Thompson says here, procrastination. I don't know how to spell it. I was going to look it up this morning, but I thought I'd do it on Monday. That was kind of funny. But the point is that eat that frog. The concept is this. So Larry Thompson basically shares this idea. He said, Larry Thompson's like, man, I love a bologna sandwich. So what he says, like, I love a bologna sandwich. He's like, there's only one part about the bologna sandwich that I don't like, and that's the crust. He's like, so he says that one day he was eating a bologna sandwich, and he's like, man, if I could just get to the middle, I don't want to eat the crust, but he's like, I don't want to cut out the crust and throw it away either because I'm wasting food and there's starving kids all over the world. So he's like, I know how to make this sandwich entirely delicious. And the way I'm going to do it, he says, is I'm going to eat the crust as fast as possible. I'll do that first. Because once I get that out of the way, then I can enjoy the rest of the sandwich, the rest of the bologna sandwich, right? So he's like, dang, that's just like network marketing. That's just like what Brian Tracy talks about when he says, eat that frog. Do the hardest thing, or it's not really hard, right? It's not that it's hard to prospect. It's mentally maybe tough or challenging for someone like, gosh, man, maybe they're scared, maybe they're fearful of it. But if you go out there and prospect, let's say you're going to prospect 5 people a day, and so you know that that's the first thing you should do every single day is prospect 5 people, but you wake up and you say, I'm going to get to those 5 people. First, I got to get through my inbox. First, I got to, follow up with some people. No. You got to get that done first. Once you do that first at the beginning of your day, the rest of your day is easy. The rest of your day is more fun. It's more stressful to leave the hardest thing at the end of the day because all day long you're avoiding it. And finally, towards the end of the day, guess what happens? You don't do it. And you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. But every single time you break a promise to yourself, your confidence goes down. You told yourself you're going to do it, but you didn't do it. So now, what is trust? Trust is nothing but having a relationship that you trust. So you have a relationship with yourself. And if you're breaking that relationship every single day because you're not doing the things that you need to be doing, that's how you start to get further and further away from where you really want to be, right? So do the hardest thing first at the beginning of the day, okay? So then he talks about employing yourself. So the first one is the death of a salesman. We know what the death of a salesman is, right? Is not developing the proper habits. And how to make $5,000 a month is simply sell the product at every opportune moment, prospect or sponsor 10 people a month for the next 3 months, every month, total of 30. Okay, and you're going to do that by employing yourself. And this is what happens. A lot of people are doing network marketing part-time. They got a job full-time, and eventually their part-time is over producing income than their full-time job, so they decide to quit. They quit their job, and now their business slows down, and they can't figure out how. So they start to develop like training material, and then they start to develop like brochures, and they start to do all this stuff. And then what happens? Guess what happens after that? They burn themselves out. Why? Because that was never the issue. It's not about a brochure. It's not about any of that. It's because when you had a job, you only had this amount of time to work your business, so you were making those moments extremely productive. Now that you quit your job, now you have all day long, and you're not doing anything. Why? Because you got comfortable. You stopped doing those things that got you there. So what he says is that you have to employ yourself by simply having 2 personality types. Your first personality type is your boss, which is yourself. You joined the business, you're your own boss. The second personality is the employee. Now that you're the boss, you have to first hire yourself as an employee. And you have to do the things that you got to do, because if you have those split personalities, guess what happens? It's like if you had a job. If you had a job and your boss says you have to be here every day from 9 to 5, guess what? You're going to be there every day from 9 to 5, because you know that if you're late every single day, it's only going to be about 3 or 4 days before your boss says, hey, you know what? This job isn't for you. Boom. We're not going to pay you. You're fired. The same thing happens in life, but not to a literal standpoint, because you don't hear the words you're fired, but your dreams just never happen. So if you say, so he says this, Larry 1, Larry 2. So Larry 1 says to Larry 2, I'm going to pay you a salary of $100,000 a year. Larry 2, how does that sound? Larry 2 says, that sounds amazing. I've never made $100,000 a year. How do I get it done? And Larry 1 says, all you have to do is one thing. All you have to do is work for me from 9 to 5. And what you're going to do during those the 9 to 5 hours is you are going to just prospect 10 people a day. Larry 2 says, are you telling me, Larry 1, that in order for you to pay me $100,000 a year, all I got to do is work from 9 to 5, and during those hours, just simply prospect 10 people a day? That's it. He's like, you don't need to get people to buy. You need to get people to sell. All you need to do is prospect 10 people. That's all you got to do. And Larry 2 says, hey, you got it, man. And Larry 1 says, but there's one thing. If you don't follow the rules, you're fired, right? So Larry 2 says, okay, cool. So the next day, Larry 2 wakes up. He's all excited. He's excited because now he's just going to work 9 to 5, and he's going to prospect 10 people a day, and he's going to make $100,000 a year. But what happens is Larry 2 wakes up a little late that next day, right? He wakes up a little bit late, so he rushes to get ready. He gets in the car, and as he's pulling out of the driveway, he looks back and he sees Larry 2. And Larry 2 says Larry 1, he sees Larry 1. So Larry 1 says, hey, Larry 2, I thought I told you work began at 9. It's 9:10. And Larry 2 says, oh man, I'm sorry, I got caught up. And Larry 2 is like, listen, or Larry 1 says, listen, I don't need your excuses. I just need to know, do we need to move the time from 9:10 to 5:10, or can you stick to 9 to 5? And Larry 2 says, I can do 9 to 5. Okay, great. So Larry 2 gets to work. He starts to prospect people, but that day he only prospects 7 people. Larry 2 is waiting for him on his Larry 1 is waiting for him on his driveway when he gets home. And Larry 1 says, Larry 2, I told you, man, you had to prospect 10 people. You only prospected 7. And Larry 2 says, but these 7 are good people. These 7 are better than if I would have talked to 20, 30 people. And Larry 1 says, listen, man, I don't need your excuses. I'm going to pay you from 9 to 5. If you prospect 10 people a day, I'm going to pay $100,000 a year. If you can't stick to that, then you can't be a part of this deal. And eventually, and as you guys know, the story goes, Larry 2 gets fired, right? The point is, guys, is that you don't have to necessarily employ yourself on specific hours, but you can employ yourself on specific activities. And if you hold yourself to specific activities, such as I'm going to prospect 5 people a day, or I'm going to prospect 10 people, you pick the number. I'm going to follow up with 5 people a day. I'm going to friend request 5 new people a day, but you got to stick to your numbers. And if you do that, that's how you create momentum. Momentum is not just, boom, it happens. Momentum is created through consistency. Consistency every single day leads to momentum. And that's the biggest thing, guys. A lot of people in network marketing bounce around from company to company to company thinking that the company's the issue, when really, when the individual doesn't master the basic fundamentals that's being taught here, then eventually none of those things work, guys. None of it happens, right? And so anyways, the last thing I'll tell you guys is this is actually pretty cool. I'll end with this. And he says, you are enough, demand the best of you. And I don't know if this is like a poem, but this is like a paragraph that's kind of highlighted. And it says, I want you to learn to be strong in your life, in all areas of your life. I want you to learn to be strong, but I also want you to learn to develop your strength without being rude to others. Become strong, but don't become rude. I want you to learn how to win in life. I want you to learn to win in everything. Win the conversation game. Win everything, but learn to win without pressure. I want you to learn how to be bold. I want you to learn how to be bold without becoming a bully. I'd like to see you learn how to develop your pride in everything that you do. Have pride in it, but develop pride without arrogance. Pride without arrogance. I'd like for you to learn how to be thoughtful about all things and everybody, and about yourself. Learn to become thoughtful without becoming lazy. I'd also like for you to learn to develop your humility. Become humble minus timidity. Become humble, but don't become timid. I'd like for you to learn to become kind to everything and everybody, especially become kind to yourself. But develop kindness without weakness. Become kind without becoming weak. I'd like for you to learn how to become gentle, but become gentle without becoming soft. I'd like for you to learn how to make new commitments every single day to your faith, your family, to your friends, and to your future. I'd like to see you learn how to be willing to sacrifice the little things in life and do the things that are truly important. So anyways, guys, when I look at network marketing, honestly, I look at like, the basic stuff, guys. Like I look at kind of like, sorry, this is where I was. So I kind of look at different things, right? When I look at network marketing, I'm like, okay, I have to give something enough time to compound. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people come in for a few months, nothing compounds in a few months. I can promise you. Working out doesn't compound in a few months. Working out compounds after a year. Putting money into a bank, into an investment account doesn't compound after a year. Doesn't compound after a week. Doesn't compound after a month. Putting money into an investment account will compound after 15 to 20 years. Right? Nothing compounds over a course of like 1 month, 2 months. Network marketing doesn't take 25 years, doesn't take 15 years. Network marketing compounds, in my personal opinion, some will say 5 years, some will say 4 years. For me, it's this. If you know you're doing the work every single day and you're going to commit to the basic fundamentals, all it's going to take you is 24 months. That's all it's going to take is 24 months. That's 2 years out of your life. And a lot of people quit because they fall for the speed bumps in life. And speed bumps can be anything. Speed bump can be something is going on at home that is throwing you off your swag. Maybe, who knows, right? Like maybe shipping is slow, that's throwing you off your swag. And so when you start to pinpoint these things of like, okay, shipping slow, it's a speed bump in the road. Do I have the gold mine attitude to shake every grain of sand from my shoe before I move on to the next conversation? It's the basic fundamentals. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it, right? It's not about, oh man, I recruited 5 people and nothing's happening. It's about until you're selling the product at every opportune moment and until you've personally sponsored 30 people in a short window of time, you can't complain about why your weekly check isn't where you want it to be. I'm not saying sponsoring 10 people is the easiest thing in the world, because it's not. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of conversations. Maybe you say, I'm going to sponsor 10 people a month for 3 months, and you don't do it. But maybe it was 6 people that you did this month, 8 people that you did the last month or next month, and then 5 more people the month after that. And you're like, gosh, I didn't get to 30. But guess what? You got a heck of a lot closer than the person that didn't do it. You get me? It's about doing the little things that make all the difference, guys. I love what I do, so I'm not here just to sell a product, and I'm not here just to make money for myself, because I got plenty of it. I'm here because, I love what I do, and I like to teach people the truth. When you go onto social media, there's a lot of noise. There's so much noise, and it's really hard to see through the noise to understand what is the right information. And I'm not saying I have the right information. I'm just giving you information that changed my life. When I look at this book right here, when you understand the 6 pillars, okay, one of the 6 pillars is called prospect or posture and presentation, on how to invite people, right? How to invite people correctly. How many of y'all would like to learn how to prospect people correctly? I've taught you guys many, many, many times. I don't know if you've written it down or applied it, but I can bet you if you did, you'd probably recruit 10 people this month, right? The point is, guys, is these are the basic fundamentals. I don't care how pretty your picture is on Facebook. I don't care how many followers you got. How you build a network marketing business is adapting the right basic fundamentals, committing to 10, 10, 10, and watch what happens. So I'll challenge everyone to do it. If you want to do it, you don't have to do it. It's up to you. Maybe your goal isn't to make $5,000 a month. And if it's not, that's okay too, because I don't want to turn people off by saying, hey, you have to make $5,000 a month. Listen, if you want to make $500 a month and you're happy, we're all chasing happiness. I want to help people achieve happiness. It's irrelevant, right? Because it's different for everybody, right? But if you want to do this plan, you can start now. Or you can actually start in October. You can start prepping things up right now. I would still recruit this month like crazy, because October 24th is going to be massive. But I'm teaching you these things because if you have stuff like the October 24th event, and you have Black Friday coming up, and you got the stuff that the company's going to do in December time, right? But what you do during those moments is you add this stuff into the mix by doing 10, 10, 10, then guess what happens? Your efforts are boom, or 10x, right? So you can do it. Sponsor 10 people in October. Sponsor 10 people in November. Sponsor 10 people in December, and have the greatest freaking 2021 of your life. Because right now you are building 2021. If you think you're still building for 2020, 2020 is already over. It's already done, guys. Okay, but you can set yourself up for an amazing Christmas and an amazing 2021 by adapting these fundamentals. 10, 10, 10. Sell the product at every opportune moment. Keep a gold mine attitude and make it happen. So with that, guys, thanks for spending some time with me tonight. One thing that I will end with is that I've really enjoyed doing these Zoom interviews. So what I would challenge every single one of you to do is start to interview the new stories that come to your team. You got somebody that comes in that's got a powerful product story. You reach out to that person, say, I want to interview you. And you put them on a Zoom with you, and you invite guests to hear that person's testimonial. Because people are more likely to buy from hearing a stranger tell them that the product is good versus their friend, right? You have someone that got a great product testimony and a great financial testimony. You say, hey, we're going to interview you two. Get on a Zoom. Boom, make it happen, right? It's not about people getting guests or prospects on my Zooms or on Demetrius' Zooms, right? Because it's not a personality-driven business. This is a movement based on the product and a movement based on the plan. So it's not about us sharing the information. It's just about someone other than yourself sharing that information. So pick a partner, run with them. 10, 10, 10. Interview people like crazy, right? Get that gold mine on check and get excited for October 24th, because it's gonna be crazy, guys. Anyways, with that, thanks for being on.